Hi, it's Claire here. Today I want to continue the conversation around self-care. So I posted a video a couple of weeks ago about how self-care is a moment-to-moment practice. And I've been considering today the idea that one of the biggest inhibitors to self-care, especially this is something I've seen amongst women, is guilt. So we seem to carry a lot of guilt around kind of saying no and meeting our own needs. And that could be a societal thing, a cultural thing, perhaps the way that we were raised as well, a gender thing. You know, women are kind of taught to be the nurturers and to worry about everyone else's feelings. And my invitation to you today is to change that narrative within yourself and to explore the guilt. If you have guilt over kind of saying no and meeting your own needs. So I talked about in the self-care video, I talked about when I say yes, I want to mean yes, and when I say no, I want to mean no. And if I don't honor my own needs, I get resentful. And my resentment, you know, all our feelings are really messengers, and so my resentment is my responsibility, and it's there to tell me I'm not taking good enough care of myself. I don't want to resent anyone else. It doesn't do me any good. It doesn't do my relationship with them any good. So first and foremost, my responsibility lies with myself, you know, with taking care of my own needs, meeting my own needs. I'm an adult, and other adults are able to do the same. And when I start to think that I'm responsible for other people's feelings and well-being, then I'm stepping into over-responsibility. That is not where my responsibility lies. And again, I think culturally, we kind of have this back to front, you know, and we have this idea that taking care of ourselves is selfish. And I think we can tend to have the idea that, you know, it's kindness to put ourselves second, third, fourth, fifth, bottom of the list. And again, my invitation is to revisit that. For me, kindness has to start with myself, because if my bucket is empty, I don't have capacity for anyone else. So I have to take care of myself first. And when I do that, I'm so much more available for other people. I'm much more able to be present. I'm much more able to enjoy their company, to listen, to empathize. I'm just generally a much nicer person when I'm taking care of myself and meeting my own needs. So one of the things that, I'm just looking at my notes here, one of the things I invite you to do is the next time you feel guilty about saying no to something that you really don't want to do, firstly, my invitation is to consider that you don't have to justify it. You can just go, no, it just doesn't feel right. That's not going to be okay for me. And if guilt comes up around that, then perhaps explore that guilt. So often guilt for me comes from a sense of over-responsibility. It might come from fear of other people's anger, fear of other people's, rejection or abandonment. It can be any number of things that cause me unconsciously often, this is why I have to explore it, to kind of go, oh, I have to meet everyone's needs. I have to take care of everyone, because if I don't, things will fall apart. And when we start to shift that, when we start to put ourselves first and recognize that other people are capable of meeting their own needs, our relationships really shift. Our relationship with ourselves really shifts, and our relationship with the people that we care about really shifts. So, the invitation is the next time you're feeling guilty about saying no is to explore that guilt. What is it about? Where does it come from? And is this my responsibility? So we can say no and still allow another person to be disappointed. And we can sit with that, you know, and I think if we're trying to constantly keep everyone happy, then we're seeking other people's approval. We're seeking something outside of ourselves rather than bringing our attention in. We start to become other focused. And when that dictates our life, that's not healthy. So the next time these guilt feelings arise, maybe explore, what is this about? And really dive into it. And yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear your reflections. I'm going to do a few more of these little videos and explore some other topics really around kind of women's health and well-being. So that's it for now. I'll leave it there today, but take good care of yourself and remember, it's always a good thing to put yourself first.